This episode contains sensitive topics. Discretion is advised.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of the Lusty Lounge. Sit back, relax, and allow us to very carefully serve you your drink of choice on this very special day. I don't know if this is a holiday or not. I really don't.
It's at the very least a national holiday.
Is it really?
No.
Government would say otherwise.
Yeah. It's at least it's not official enough for government employees
It's
to
not
get
a
a day off.
federal holiday, but it doesn't
There
mean
you
it's
go.
not a national holiday.
I guess that's
Those are
fair.
not the same thing, so yeah, you're right. Joining me to serve you drinks very carefully, we have Minka
Hello.
and Puce.
What's up, everybody?
This week, we're going to talk about safety and not safe for work things because it's April Fool's Day and that's the joke. It's a not safe for work podcast, and we're going to talk about things that aren't safe for work. Like racing down the hallway in office chairs and then falling down the stairs, which is what I did at one of my office jobs I had, which really fucking hurt.
You fell down the stairs in a wheelie chair?
Yeah, it's just like six stairs. It's fine.
That's okay.
I thought you were going to be
I
like,
guess
it was
that's
just
not
6
too
floors.
terrible.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't break anything, but I was like, "Ayo, I'm going home." And they were like, "What? I'm going home. Why? What happened?" If I told you, you fire me, so just be like, "Yeah, he wasn't feeling good. He went home." Why is your wrist in that shape? Don't worry about that. I'm going home. Goodbye. I don't know how to start this episode off. So, Minka, you said you had some stuff to talk about that isn't safe for work. You know, like racing office chairs down the hallway.
Yeah, I've worked at a lot of different types of jobs, a lot of different corporations and stuff like that. So there have been a lot of different OSHA things that have come up. Because, of course, every time you're working one of those, they're like, oh, we have a person coming along
This is the safe
to
way
check.
to do it, and here's the
Yeah.
way we do it.
Well, there's that. But, anytime they're like, oh, somebody's coming to check and make sure we're OSHA compliant. It's like, oh, okay, we need to clean up and do this and this and this before they get here. And it's like, if these are all things we need to do so that we pass the OSHA thing, shouldn't we be doing these all the time?
No.
Right?
No.
But, yeah, like, one of my most recent jobs was at Target. And,
Ew.
yeah, it was not
You go
fun.
ahead. I'm gonna wait till you finish before I ask you this question.
Okay. So, like, one big thing was, like, an OSHA violation is having pallets standing up on their sides and not being, like, flat or stacked.
Shit, is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, fuck.
And,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, like, I know I personally all the time was just putting pallets up to get them out of the way. Because I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, I get that it could fall or whatever, but we're not, none of us
can
are
never
that
find
stupid.
a pallet jack, so what are you going to do with an empty pallet? You got to move it around somehow.
Yeah.
Just throw it. Just throw it. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's also against OSHA. I'm pretty sure they require a team lift.
Depends on how heavy the pallet is. The pallets at my job are 16 pounds, and I just yeet them bitches across the fucking room, and I'm like, fuck you.
That sounds about the right weight.
Another thing I did all the time is like in our back room where all the shelves for the back stock were, we had these ladders that were on rails, or they were basically stairs that were on rails. And so, of course, like, if you go up, then you're supposed to, like, get what you need. And then if you need to move it, come back down, get off of it, move it, and then go. And all the time, like, I figured out how to, while standing on it, just, like, move the thing. And so I would just constantly move around and get everything I needed without ever getting off. And, like, sometimes the things were stacked on top. So there were times that I was, like, climbing on top of shelves with, like, maybe 1 foot still on the ladder, which, of course, you're not ever supposed to have less than 2 feet. Basically, 3 points of contact is what you're supposed to have. But, like,
Sure.
all the time, I was just doing it my own way because it was easier and faster. And, of course, at a corporation like that, where I was doing the online orders, it was all about speed. They expected us to be able to get stuff done at a certain speed. So,
How recently did you work at Target?
It was about probably about 4 years ago now.
Okay. So like right when
It was
whole,
right at the
online
start of the
shopping
pandemic.
thing popped
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, it was like at the beginning of when the online ship from store stuff kicked off.
Okay.
And I was
like, what the
I
heck?
had
That's like fairly new crap.
yeah, and I had
See?
like the highest numbers and stuff. So
Oh, you fucked up.
how do, what?
Did you get something
You
for
worked
having
too
the
hard,
highest
Minko.
numbers?
Of course
You
not.
did. Yeah, you worked too hard.
No, I absolutely did. I would also like the little cart that we would use to go around and put the stuff in through the store and bring it back. I was constantly like running that into everything. I basically called myself the quality tester for Target.
No, that's the old people and the amigos. I've seen those things run through entire like shelves. So
Oh, I bet.
So, did you ever work the cash register at Target?
Nope.
Damn, this question no longer applies to you then.
Okay.
I worked the cash register at Walmart.
How? Before it was 21st, back in the old days.
You realize I used to work during the day?
No,
Yes.
I don't. Fool.
For like
Well, no,
6 years I worked during the day, and then 1 year ish I've worked overnight now. 2
Fool.
years? 1 year.
will never take a first shift job unless I'm like dating a person, and I'm not. If anyone wants to fix that, come hit me up, please.
But not at the workplace, because that's
So-
inappropriate.
No, niggas are married at my job right now. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about OSHA violations. No sexual harassment on the work floor.
Does that fall
It's
into
only
OSHA?
Yes, it does. It's only harassment if the person receiving doesn't want to receive.
Hey, at my job, people got fired just for, like, kissing in front of other people. And we're talking married couples.
Damn, that's crazy, because married couples have done way worse than that on my workroom floor. And I'm
Oh,
over here
well,
like,
way back
that's
in
crazy.
the past, I've heard of much worse, but I'm talking my time.
this all reminds me of the time. So I used to work at Staples in the print and marketing section because I know how to use Photoshop. And then when I got there, they're like, "Hey, we don't have Photoshop." And I was like, "Nigga, you lied to me. You lied to my face. I should just leave right now." That man begged me to stay, but that's not important. So we have X-Acto knives and a paper cutter. We had 3 paper cutters. And one day it was me and some new person, and I just looked at him and was like, "You think the X-Acto knives are sharp?" And this man looked at me was just confusion and shock. I was like, "Well, yeah, they're X-Acto knives." And I look at him like, "How many pages you think they could cut?" He went, we're not doing what I think you want us to do." And I'm like, "Yeah, we are. Go get the scraps. Come on, we're gonna find out together." He's like, I'm not doing that." I'm like, "All right, if I gotta do it, I'll do it myself." So I grabbed a stack of like 15 sheets of paper. X-Acto knife goes through them. I'm like,
Are we
cool.
talking like one of those big like cleavers that like are attached to the side
No.
of a table thing?
Nope.
Or are we talking
the
like the
ones you
little...
use for like little tiny ones.
Okay.
I was like, "Ooh, okay." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna add one, like 16, 17, 18. I'm like, "Oh, it's stuck. What's this stuck on?" And I picked up by like the rod handle thing, and the keyboard comes up with it, and I'm like, "Oh."
You stabbed
Ooh.
a keyboard?
I stabbed the keyboard. I was like, "Huh."
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think... I knew X-Acto knives were sharp, but I didn't think they were that sharp.
He just looks at me like, "What you got there?" I'm like, "A keyboard that don't work no more." He's like, "What you mean? Like, you only stabbed one key." And I like remove the pieces of paper, and you just see keys missing. And he's like, "How?" I was like, I stabbed him. I heard a funny noise and was like, "That's not important. It's not. They ain't broke. The C is still typing." When I tell you I stabbed the space bar, so I didn't notice it was just making spaces, because spaces they don't show up. He was like, I'm not gonna tell the manager.
The fact
But,
you were
like,
just
I'm
putting
gonna
paper on your
ask.
keyboard and stabbing at it worries me.
It's Staples. I don't fucking care. It was dead.
Well, still.
He literally went to.
I would have put it on
he
a
went to
flat
get a
surface, but you were
supervisor.
like, right in front of me on top of this
Nah.
thing is
Yeah.
just okay.
Shitty Dell keyboard, and the supervisor just walks up to me and he's like, "How'd that happen?" And like, I dropped the X-Acto knife.
Several
It's like,
times.
you dropped it. I'm like, yeah. You dropped it really fucking hard, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. Them bitch is sharp. He just sighed and was like, listen, just go get one off the floor. And I'm like, we sell Dell keyboards at Staples? And he's like, you've never been to like the electronic, we sell computers here, right? And I went, no. This man looked at me like I kicked this puppy. And like, how long you been working here? I was like, a month and a half. Have you ever left your station? No. Why? I was hired for print and copy, copy and market, whatever the fuck department I'm in. Why would I go out anywhere else that's not here? It's normally just me. Y'all just hired this new motherfucker, and he's like, quit cussing at me. Stop that.
Well, good to know you don't want to walk around your workplace ever.
he just was like, I'm gonna get you a keyboard. Don't break it. I looked at that man and went, no promises. It's like, if you break this keyboard, we will fire you. And I was like, a threat or a promise? And he's like, do you not want to work here? I'm like, this is here to kill time because I ain't got nothing better to do with my life. He walked away. He was like, I can't with you.
I wish I
He's
could
like,
say that about my job.
bro, I told my boss at my current job to go kill himself, and he was like, dual suicide, you and me. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And he was like, all right, stop, hold on, wait, time out, hold on.
You are far more violent than anybody I've ever met at any job.
Listen, I don't give a fuck. My cousin was like, yo, can I join in too? And I was like, no, we need you for who gonna take care of your dog? And he was like, never mind, I got to save myself from my dog. And I'm like, all right, you and me, let's go right now. And I still work at this job. I still work at the job. I was like dual suicide with my boss. And Minka, you talk about some dumb shit you've done at work.
Yeah,
please.
I got you. So around the holidays, because normally like UPS would come and they would pick up the pallets that we had left and like packed up and everything. But during the holidays, there's so many orders that they would just leave like a UPS long haul trailer there. And so we would fill it up, and then just once a day they would come and bring a new trailer, take the old trailer. So there was one night that I was the only one that was still working in ship from store that night. But I went and was putting some of the pallets into the truck, and it was raining. I remember it was raining. I don't think that really had to do with like what happened, but I remember it was a cold, raining night. It's winter. And I had the pallet jack, and I was taking the pallet, and it was a heavy one. And I was just like, the only way I'm going to get this in is if I basically like push it really hard, get the momentum going, and get it in the truck. So we have the little ramp that you set up because the truck doesn't come quite to the edge, but it's close. So there's a little ramp you use. And I go to push it up, and like it gets caught on something. I don't remember exactly what it got caught on, but the handle, like, because I was still pushing so hard, like pushed the handle forward, and my body went forward, and I smacked my head against the handle. And like, ow. I had heard of goosebumps before and like seen small ones, but I had never seen a goosebump like this. Like, I still have pictures of it. It looked.
Do you mean like a goose egg?
Sorry, yeah, goose egg. It looked like one of the Reese's eggs on my head. It had like swollen so much where I hit my head. It was insane, and I laughed my ass off because like obviously I looked ridiculous with this giant goose egg. But you know, like luckily I didn't get a concussion or anything, but it was it was one of those things that just you do something, you realize how stupid it was, and you just laugh at yourself that because you didn't get more hurt than you could have. But there was another time too. You guys know the shelving things where it's like basically a bunch of cross wires.
Sure.
They put them on shelves. Like usually they have like a gray plastic coating or something.
Yup.
Not gonna lie, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why you just nod your head and go, yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, I can't imagine that your work doesn't have them in the backstock area where they put them on the like. Basically, they use them for the shelves for backroom stuff.
Oh, you just mean like in the steel where you just put it on and it creates a shelf.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
So there was one time I was doing ship from store and like I was going through some boxes because in the morning the truck would bring the product, it would get separated out, and right by where our station was, they would do the soft line stuff, so all the clothing. And so I was looking for something that had just come in today, so I was going through some of the boxes they hadn't opened yet, and like I was down there, and then I went to stand up and hit my head on the edge of one of those things. And like some of the newer ones we had a bar at the bottom to basically make it so there was nothing like sticking out, but this particular one did not, and so it was basically like a bunch of little edges of these steel bars coming over, and so I hit my head on one and put a little hole in my head.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I because of everything I'm into and I do, like, I thought it was super funny, and like because it's a head wound, it's bleeding, and so I basically like gave myself war paint while they were like checking it out and everything. But
Bro, I'd have been fired your ass.
they made me wipe all the blood off before I walked to the front of the store from the back room, which made me sad. But I also
please tell me you were like, fuck this, I'm going home.
Well, I had to go to the doctor first, obviously.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's the fuck this, I'm going home.
The best part was though, is like whether we were allowed to listen to music or not, like that is one thing our manager did let us do, was listen to music. And so I'm up there filling out the form, and my last name is I need to tell it for this because it was so brilliant. So it's fine, whatever. My last name is Hole, and so anytime I would tell people, they would be like, "Oh, what's your name?" I'd be like, "Minka Hole," and then I'd be like, "Hole," like hole in the head, because like growing up especially, there was a lot of people where it was Hull, and so it was one of those things where it was like, holy shit, like this is a destined moment. And at the at the same time, the song, all of a sudden, like we're filling out the stuff, and I realized that the song was playing was "I'm Bleeding Out," and I was just like, what the hell? Like, it was so fucking funny, and I laughed my ass off. And then I went and got a couple staples in my head.
Holy cow, how hard did you hit your head?
You can't say shit. You've hit your head 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like on a rack, it seems pretty hard. Like, she must have stood up really fast and hard to smack her head.
I mean, I stood up just normally, but like the little bar that's sticking out that I hit my head on is like a little circle that's probably like a centimeter diameter. So it's just a lot of force in a little area. So it just put a little hole. I mean, it wasn't a super little hole. It was, it needed staples, but yeah, I would say that was probably something that should have been an OSHA violation that was not my own fault.
Man. All right, Puce, you go now, because fuck. What the fuck?
Do I start with my Disney days or my Walmart days?
It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm not sure if it was an OSHA violation at Disney, but I used to fall asleep in the most strange places at Disney.
Oh my god.
Like they're like in the maintenance closets where all the boxes are. I'd just fall asleep on those. Those were nice naps. And then I worked in maintenance at Disney. So we had like a little fanny pack full of like equipment. But I always put chips and Cheetos and junk in there. I feel like that's
You
probably
fat
not
fuck.
good. I feel like that was probably
No,
A,
it's
unhealthy,
not.
but also near all the junk that I'd be by. I feel like that was not good food at all. It's probably covered in all sorts of bacteria.
Yeah, I'm sure those tools were not sanitized.
No.
No. I used them to wipe down counters and all sorts of junk, so probably not.
Oh my god.
Okay. That's, I think, as far as I remember, that's all I remember as far as OSHA violations at Disney.
It needs to be something that's not safe for work, not just an OSHA violation.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh
At
my
least
god,
at
you're
Disney.
so boring.
At Disney. At Walmart, I have climbed up into the steel racks in the back. There's all the times I've had to take
Definitely not something.
70-inch TVs up and down stairs on my own. One time I almost fell down the stairs dragging one of those TVs. That was terrifying. Because those are
Buddy
concrete
lift.
steps. Concrete steps followed by a 70-inch TV sliding down steps right in front of me. So,
Hey, what's wrong? Why does my box look like this? I can make the box.
Hey.
Why is there a hole in it? I don't know.
hey, when it's sliding down the steps, it's sliding perfectly flat. It's just the fact that I'd be slowing it down in front of it so it doesn't slide too fast. And when you almost fall down the steps, that's terrifying because you're about to be smashed by a TV and hit a lot of concrete
Yeah,
steps.
TV's not that heavy. You'll be fine.
A 70-inch TV?
70-inch TV could do
not
some
that heavy.
damage.
No, it's fine. I believe in his like that man. I can't even get through that without stopping myself.
I don't know what you were about to say, but I'm a little worried.
I believe in your ability to lift a 70 inch. Nope, can't do it. I can't lie to myself like that.
Okay, it's easy to
No,
lift
they're-
on your
They're
own,
heavy.
but not dropping it down a flight of stairs is the hard part.
And they really
Like-
do. Like, they basically go flat on the staircases so they can get some momentum.
And then, this wasn't me, but there's something called the hole in the wall, which leads to a giant trash compactor. And one of the bosses told the maintenance guys, hey, you need to climb in there to clear out the debris. And they said, no way am I doing that. That's just stupidity. And then the boss did it anyways. And then that was exactly the moment that the market off people walked by and were like, why are you in that hole? And they got fired for that.
Yeah.
I'd be well. Okay, here's my thing though. If the power is off to the compactor, it's fine.
It wasn't off.
Turn the power to the compactor off.
I didn't say they were
Oh my
smart.
God.
They,
Oh
to
my
be
God.
fair,
Oh
it's a
my God.
little it's like a 4x4 hole that's about 10 feet long, and then it's the compactor. So it's not
They
completely
had to go
dangerous.
through all that before that. Oh my god! Just man, the Walmart will take anyone, huh?
Yeah. Then there's also, I'm not sure this has ever actually happened, but I was told it's happened, where you dump all the like broken like drinks and stuff into like a hole into the drains on the floor into the little sink. That thing is disgusting because no matter how much you clean it, there's all sorts of nasty junk that's on there all day. And I've been told there's people who have licked that, and I was
Yeah.
terrified because that's like the most disgusting thing in the store by far.
Like I've licked and eaten things off a floor at like a BDSM dungeon, but like I know the kinds of things that go on there. At a Walmart, no fucking way.
And then I've had plenty of moments like Minka did with with walls and bumping my head into them. There's the half wall and the front end where you put all the things people didn't end up buying at the register, so you put them in their department's totes. But then when you stand up from those totes, you hit your head on a wall that shouldn't be there. That's always fun. And then when I was a cart pusher, you have to go through like the little half door to get the carts into the building. That wall hurts a lot too. There was the
Oh,
time
Yeah.
I have fallen asleep while pushing carts. That was really terrifying.
How? You know what? Never mind.
Long story short, I was working 2 jobs. I'd work in the morning, and then I'd work in the afternoon. Well, it was New Year's Day, so obviously I stayed up all that night to celebrate the New Year. Went to the morning job, then went to Walmart to push carts in the afternoon, and I'd say probably about 8, 9 o'clock at night, after being awake for like nearly 24 hours straight, I was pushing the carts, and then I was suddenly asleep walking with the carts, and then snapped awake after like 3 or 4 seconds. And I was wide awake for the rest of the night.
I used to do that when I was in high school and driving.
I'm gonna need you to stop. That's not an act. I'm gonna need you to stop.
It was terrifying.
I can imagine. So, but I hope you enjoyed your drinks carefully and didn't fall out of any stools or cut your lip on the broken glass that we're serving drinks out of, because oh shit, man, is that the sirens I hear now? Damn, it's time to go. If you like what you heard, you can follow us on Twitter and join the conversation in Discord. You can tip us on Patreon. You can tell your friends. Bye. I'm
Bye.
forgetting something, but it's not important, so bye.
Bye.
And now OSHA is here. Damn, this was our last episode. I hope y'all enjoyed.
Book it.